Hi there. I'm Clark Brittain. I'm a physician in Bloomington, Indiana. I'm board certified in obstetrics and gynecology from the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. I have a special interest in the care of the mature woman and intimate health and wellness. And I'd like to tell a brief story about how I came to this point in my career. I grew up as a poor farm kid in a place you may have heard of. Maybe you've heard of the Bridges of Madison County, the fame from the book by James Waller and the movie from uh, Robert Redford and Meryl Streep. That's where I went to high school. I went to church in that town, graduated from there. We were poor farm people, and I noticed along the way that the people in my life that really mattered weren't all that healthy. My grandma had a mom and pop nursing home in the 50s, and I would follow her around as she would see some of her patients and hold their hand and hear their stories, and go around with her when she'd follow the family doctors around with the patients as well. I developed a keen interest in listening to these stories and hearing the heartache and the suffering and the joys that these people had. I didn't really know that that was steering me towards medicine, but I also had an interest in, as I got a little older, of taking care of myself in a way that my ancestors simply did not. I've already outlived almost all of my ancestors because they had not taken care of themselves. So along the way, I did silly stuff that young people do. I ended up in the Army during Vietnam and determined that I wanted to go to medical school. I got through undergraduate school and medical school in a fairly rapid fire fashion. But I started to learn to take care of myself. So I started exercising fairly vigorously, and actually since 1979, I have walked or run 2 to 6 miles at lunchtime every day, because I wanted to be able to do things at the age that I am now that my ancestors simply could not do. And many of them were dead because they had diseases of decrepitude and poor self-care, diabetes and obesity and this sort of thing. They smoked cigarettes and had terrible habits. So as part of the maturation process, I started out as a family doctor. In fact, I'm board certified in family practice as well. I was a family doctor in a little town on the prairie in eastern Colorado for about 10 years, where I had a remarkable experience taking care of little tiny people and delivering babies and taking care of old people. I ran the emergency room. I ran the ambulance service. I was a director of the chief of staff, rather, of the hospital. I ran the operating room. I set bones. I delivered babies. I did surgeries. I was even the coroner. I couldn't sustain that. And at the age of 42, I realized that I needed a big change in my life. And so I actually went from being this family doctor about to burn out to back into the Army to do an OB residency. And when I was a young doctor, 30 years old or 35 years old, these mature women would come to me seeking help for their menopausal symptoms, and it was kind of an irritating thing for me at the time. I thought they were old and whiny and needy, and I didn't have much to offer. Now I'm an old guy and I have something to offer, but even more important than that, I want to talk about some of the things that people can do to maintain health and wellness and better quality of life for a longer period of time. And there's a pretty good book out there called How to Achieve Healthy Aging, written by a guy named Neil Rousier, and he talks about the importance of hormone maintenance in aging. But also what's really important is to maintain physical fitness. So as I mentioned, for the last 40 years I've practically walked or run 2 to 6 miles at lunchtime every day. I do yoga. I do some mindfulness exercises and so forth. And I can do the things physically with my grandchildren and children that others cannot do. I hike regularly and travel and do things. And so the value of this that I can share with my patients is that it's never too late to start doing some physical activity. But almost anything is helpful. My wife is a family physician, and she has an interesting patient who couldn't afford to go to a gym, and she was addicted to television. But she knew she was overweight and she needed to get fit, so bless her heart, she just stood in front of her TV like this and marched for 30 to 60 minutes every day, and the pounds started shedding and she started getting fit. So, I mean, this is an example of some of the things that you can do to maintain that fitness. But along with that comes, you want to maintain decent dietary habits. You don't want to drink a lot of alcohol. You shouldn't smoke cigarettes, wear seat belts and all this sort of thing. And then the hormone health is really important. So I'm going to speak to those things at length in future episodes as I let you get to know me and my practice. But as I was talking with a friend recently, I would like you to know who I am and what I do, but that's, in the scheme of things, not really important, as my role as a physician is to help educate and work towards the betterment of mankind. And I think that maybe we can help others, maybe if they're not even going to come see me as a doctor, but to get information about things that they can do to help them live a healthier, longer, more satisfying life. And so we will be publishing episodes in the near future about those opportunities and some of the specifics that we do. If you like this message and want to hear more, please visit my practice at www.drbrittain.com. We have a Facebook page which is called Vibrant Life, and that's what our intimate healthcare practice is called, Vibrant Life. And we have an office phone number of 812-331-9160. Thank you very much.